Errors again. Yet again, Arsenal has drawn for the third time after going 7 wins, and then your next 3 games you draw. First at Liverpool, now at Southampton at the bottom of the league, and over the weekend, last weekend, you drew with West Ham. Really, what is going on with Arsenal? A very early error from our goalkeeper, our number 1, Ramsdale. I mean, if there were options for him to pass to any other person down to pass, I don't know who he was even passing to. I didn't even pay attention because it was so painful to watch. The goal was so quick, only for us to concede again at the 14th minute of the first half from a set piece. This is the hardest video for me to do. Trust me, I'm really struggling to do this video right now, so I'm not going to waste your time. I'm not going to bore you with any of the scripts I've written down. So I'm just going to go straight to give you my player ratings. I'm going to start with our goalkeeper, Ramsdale. For Ramsdale, honestly, I wish I could even give him a 0, but well, did he even make a save at all? We'll go into that later, but I'll give Ramsdale a 4/10 because of his shocking error. And that error was even less than a minute into the match. So, a 4/10. Then I'm going to go to Ben White, our right back. Ben White was so narrow in positioning that I think maybe he was instructed to do that. But if he was instructed to do that and it wasn't working for him, as an intelligent player, he should have just switched up. So because he was narrow, this actually impacted his supply to Bukayo Saka. So for Ben White, I'll give him a 5. Holden would actually get 3/10. Poor passing decisions, disappointing on the ball. He looked so nervous from the very first second when the whistle, and he actually lost his marker in the third goal. So the third goal is his fault. It's on his head. Then I will go to Gabriel. I'll give Gabriel a 5. He did well somehow. His recoveries were okay, but it looked like he was playing it too safe, and he felt like he was always under pressure to recover the ball. Then we'll go to Shevchenko. I'll give Shevchenko a 4. The only good thing he did to deserve a 4 was the team talk, which I'll give credit for. That team talk actually helped us now sort themselves out. But most of the errors, which might not have led to a goal, was very visible. A lot of errors from Shevchenko. Thomas Partey was lost. He actually lost his composure. It took him time to actually get himself into the game and to impact the game. At some point, I thought he was a defender because he was trying to play defense in the midfield and was moving up front, which I believe was too much for him. And then the last minute chance he wasted was so awful. That decision was a bad decision. He was like 30 yards away. So with 30 yards, why would you want to go for that strike when he had options to pass to? That was a very selfish thing of him. I know it was a heated moment. We were all looking for a goal, but that was a poor decision from him. So Thomas Partey, 5/10. Martin Odegaard, our captain, I'll give him a 7. He scored a goal to encourage us, and that's what a captain is supposed to do. He played a little deep today than usual. He actually held Partey on the defense because Zaha wasn't there. He really worked hard. His goal was amazing. His goal was the goal that actually encouraged the Arsenal team to go all out. If not, we would have bottled it. Even with this draw, I would say we've bottled it actually. Then we'll go to Fabio Vieira. So Fabio Vieira was the weak link because of Vieira's bad positioning. Partey was left isolated all the time, and because of his errors, Partey had to go back and defend. So for Vieira, I'll give Vieira a 4. Bukayo Saka was fantastic. It took him a little while to get involved. He quickly warmed up to the game. So for that, I'll give Saka a 7/10, and he did well by assisting Martinelli, and with his late goal to give us now the drawing opportunity. So I'll give him a 7. He did well. Gabriel Jesus was poor today, especially on 1v1s, tricky 1v1s. He was just losing the ball and was looking up to the referee to rescue him, which wasn't something you should do if you are the team at the losing end. So Gabriel Jesus, I'll give him a 5 actually. I'll give Martinelli 8.3 because it was very sensational. He showed his flair. He was able to cut through the thick wall or the thick defense of the Southampton players. You could see a difference between Martinelli and Reece Nelson. Reece Nelson came on at the 85th minute for Martinelli, but you could see that Reece Nelson at the left wing could not do much because the Southampton players had packed the back with I think virtually all their players, because we were playing in their half throughout. I think from the 60th minute we were playing throughout in their half. So you could see the difference when Reece Nelson came in the 85th minute for Martinelli, because Reece Nelson is not much of a dribbler with that flair. He couldn't get the ball through. So Martinelli, I'll give him 8.3 as I said. Now we'll go to Leandro Trossard. Leandro Trossard came in for Vieira, who was very poor at the 57th minute. Leandro Trossard, I'll give him 6.5. He was subbed on early. You could see he saw much of the ball, but the passes were not coming in for him, so he had to warm up. He didn't have a lot of time to warm up to the game, so I'll give him a 6. Edin Ketia came on for Shevchenko because Mikel Arteta wanted more options up front. A late sub, in my opinion. It was a late sub, but it's a good sub actually, because Edin Ketia brought on some options. Like, he opened up the game a bit because the Southampton players were actually they packed the bus. It wasn't like they were actually parking the bus. They packed the bus. So for Edin Ketia, I'll give Edin Ketia a 5, and I'm sure if he had come on earlier, we would have seen a better rating for him because he was poised to come on. For Reece Nelson, we didn't see much of him because he was the last person to come on at the 85th minute. So Reece Nelson came on for Martinelli at the 85th minute when Mikel Arteta thought that, okay, a more attacking option would be good for us. So Reece Nelson, I'll give him a 5. No, but for that strike that he missed because the defender blocked, for that reason, I'll give him a 6.5. He did well for that strike, and I think he's building a reputation of rescuing Arsenal at the late minute, but that didn't work out for him. So I'll give him a 6. Yeah. So we are going to go into the stats, and for ball possession, Arsenal had most of the balls. When you see the graph on your screen, you could understand that Arsenal did very well by holding most of the balls, but it was the errors and the late decisions they had to from people like Holden. Holden was just virtually keeping the ball too long. Okay, so for ball possession, it was 74% as against Southampton's 26%. For expected goals, Arsenal had 2.81, and then Southampton had 1.42. Sadly, but it was a draw game. So for total shots, that's where the shock is. Southampton had only 8 total shots, and they were able to utilize it. As at the 70th minute, they had only 6 total shots. Okay, so it's crazy. But Arsenal had 25 total shots and 3 big chances. I'm sure the big chances were the goals that were scored. Southampton had 2 big chances. They utilized it. Accurate passes. Arsenal had 570 accurate passes, which is equivalent to 86%, while Southampton had 151 accurate passes, which is equivalent to 65%. Fouls committed. Southampton obviously committed a lot of fouls and they were wasting a lot of time. Arsenal committed 10 fouls because of frustration, coming 2-0 down to halftime, only to come back for them to score you 3-1, and then you have to recover. So there was a lot of frustrations on the pitch at the Emirates, and we can understand. So for offside, Arsenal committed only 1, and Southampton committed 2 offsides. For corners, because we were pressing, we had 7 corners as against Southampton's 2 corners. For me, I think my man of the match would be Bukayo Saka, followed by Martinelli, and then Odegaard. But if we go into Southampton, Alcaraz was great. I don't know why he was subbed off, and I thank the manager for subbing him off because he was creating a lot of chances. Especially pairing up with Walcott was an issue for us. So the last time we played Southampton, it was October 23rd last year, and in that game we drew.